Okay. So once again, good afternoon to all. So in the previous class, you can see the some basics regarding to communication should be nothing but it is a combination of a transmitter, receiver, and an antenna. Transmitter, receiver, and a channel. Okay, now in the communication system, the blocks consisting in the transmitter and the blocks consisting in the receiver, you have to send. So in the transmitter block, there is a source encoder and there is a channel encoder and the modulator. So whereas in the receiver block, there is opposite operation takes place. That is demodulation and decoder takes place. The decoder in the sense channel decoder and also the source decoder. So this is the entire communication system block diagram. So students, while you are present in the examiner's point of view, so better to draw the block diagram. So then only for you easy to explain all the blocks. Okay. So please practice the block diagram first. So then today you can go for some more important topic that is frequency division multiplexing and amplitude modulation. So before going to that frequency division multiplexing, so one more concept here, it is need for modulation. So why you go for the modulation? Already in the previous class, we told that the frequency need for modulation means in order to transmit a signal for the longer distance, in order to transmit a signal for the longer distance, we require a modulation. So in the modulation, there is a signal called a carrier used to carry the information. Carrier carry the information. So that's why for the longer distance communication, you require a modulation process. So for the efficient transmission, you have to use an a modulation technique. So that is the concept. It is the need for modulation. So to translate frequency to low frequency to high frequency, you require a modulation. One point it is to translate frequency of low pass signal to high band signal. So in order to utilize the spectrum, that is one point. The next point is efficient transmission. You require a modulation. The next one is the length of the antenna is proportional to the frequency, proportional to the wavelength, proportional to the wavelength. So when the wavelength is called lambda by c now, okay, the frequency is lambda by c. Now the lambda value is proportional to the height of the antenna. When the high frequency, the height of the antenna is low. At low frequency, height of the antenna is very high. Hello. 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 So please respond, anyone? So please respond, anyone?
Yes, sir.
Are you my voice?
Voice is breaking, sir.
Okay, roll number 2. So now Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Some my audio system is problem. So in the next class I have to rectify that. Today headphones are somewhat weak. Okay,
Okay.
now it is okay now, I think.
Yes, sir. Sometimes
Okay,
it is okay, sir. Sometimes it is breaking, sir.
okay. Okay. So that's why I present my PPTs. So please go to the PPT once. Okay. So the topic is need for modulation. It is one of the important topic in the endogenous point of view. So the first one in the need for modulation is to translate the frequency of low pass signal to high pass signal. You require a modulation. That is one of the point. To translate the frequency of low pass signal to high pass signal. So that is need for modulation. The first point. Why for the conversion of low pass signal to high pass signal means a type high frequency signal. So the less space of the spectrum is utilized. That's why the high frequency signal is advantage. That's why low frequency to high frequency conversion cheyalante modulation is one of the technique. That's why need for modulation is one of the point is in order to translate low frequency to high frequency signal, need for modulation. The second one is for efficient transmission, the wavelength of the signal should be low. For efficient transmission, wavelength should be low. So that is wavelength is proportional to the height of the antenna. The antenna height is proportional to the wavelength. That's why wavelength and frequency is inversely proportional. When the wavelength is frequency is high, wavelength is very low. The frequency is low, wavelength is very high. Now the wavelength and the height of the antenna is inversely directly proportional. That's why at high frequency, the height of the antenna should be very low. So that is a need for modulation. Second point. Third point is, so there is a low frequency and high frequency concept. The height of the antenna is calculated in the second point. Third point. The fourth one is for multiplexing of the signals, you need a modulation. Multiplexing means the several signals are propagated through a single channel. That is the need for modulation. The last one is in order to improve the signal noise to interference immunity, need for modulation. So now you can cover the 5 points, I think. The first point is in order to translate low pass signal to high pass signal, need for modulation. For efficient transmission, height of the antenna is very low. That's why need for modulation. For low pass signal, low frequency signal, and high frequency signal, there is a relation. The lambda is proportional to the height of the antenna. Lambda is inversely proportional to the frequency. Now the frequency is high, the length of the antenna is very low. The low antennas are practically feasible. High antennas are practically not possible. That's why you need a modulation for conversion of low frequency to high frequency. The fourth one is in order to transmit multiple signals, multiplexing. That's why modulation is required. Improve noise interference immunity. Improve noise and interference immunity. Need for modulation. These are the 5 points, sir. Need for modulation. Okay. The next. Frequency translation is in order to translate low frequency to high frequency. Okay. You require a modulation. You require a modulation. So now there is a types of modulations. There are types of modulations. So depending on whether the amplitude, frequency, or phase of the carrier, you divide it into 3 types of modulations. Depends on the amplitude, frequency, phase of the carrier. You divide it into 3 modulations. One is amplitude modulation, another one is frequency modulation, the next one is phase modulation. That is, the amplitude of the carrier varies according to modulated signal changes. That is amplitude modulation. The frequency of the carrier varies according to modulated signal changes. That is frequency modulation. The phase of the carrier varies according to modulated signal changes. That is phase modulation. So that is type of the modulations. Okay. Now So already you see that block diagram of transmitter, okay, and the block diagram of receiver. Now you can go for today's concept is multiplexing. Today's concept is multiplexing. So what for the multiplexing? Multiplexing is more number of signals are transmitting on a single channel. More number of signals are transmitting on a single channel. You require a multiplexing. Okay. So now when it is required to transmit more signals on the same channel, so baseband transmission fails. Now baseband transmission is only the single signal is transmitting, not the multiple. Now the baseband transmission is fails when the signals are more. That's why you require a modulation. As in the case of audio signals being broadcasting from different stations on the same channel. So while you are see that one of the application is different audio signals are propagating on a single channel. So if it is baseband transmission, only one signal is going to be transmitting. If it is multiple signals are propagating, you require a multiplexing. So to encounter this problem, either the frequency division multiplexing or time division multiplexing is employed. Okay, in order to transmit multi number of signals on a single channel. In order to transmit multi number of signals on a single channel, you require a multiplexing. So that's why in order to encounter this problem, whether the frequency division multiplexing is used or time division multiplexing is used. So this method of transmitting several channels simultaneously is known as frequency division multiplexing. This method of transmitting several channels simultaneously is known as a frequency division multiplexing. So in the time division multiplexing, several signals are transmitting over time intervals. Where frequency division multiplexing is one signal have one C, whereas in the time division multiplexing, different types of signals are transmitting on a single channel. Okay, now what is multiplexing? Multiplexing is a technique of simultaneously transmission of the multiple signals over a single channel. A data link here is the channel. Multiplexing is a technique of simultaneous transmission of multiple signals over a single data link or single channel. To combine multiple signals, analog signals or digital signals, for transmission over a single channel or media is called multiplexing. A common type of multiplexing combines several low transmission over a speed connection. So the connection is high speed for low speed signals are multiplexing. So multiplexing is a set of techniques that allows the simultaneous transmission of multiple signals across a single data link. Here the data link is the channel. Okay, here you can see that to prevent signals from overlapping, you require a guard band. That is, the guard band is between the two signals. Okay, so let us see that frequency division multiplexing used in AM, FM or PM modulations. Okay, so frequency division multiplexing అనేది మనం AM లో యూజ్ చేస్తాం, FM లో యూజ్ చేస్తాం, PM లో యూజ్ చేస్తాం. For example, television transmission use FDM to broadcast several channels on a several channels at once. FM radio, which combines many frequencies into one channel. Okay, FDM application is one is broadcasting of the television, another one is broadcasting of the radio, FM radio. So that is frequency division multiplexing is used in AM or FM. Frequency division multiplexing అనేది AM లో ఇచ్చేస్తాం, FM లో ఇచ్చేస్తాం అండ్ PM లో కూడా ఇచ్చేస్తాం. Okay, so AM and FM, PM are the different types of modulation methods, modulation techniques. Okay, here it is one of the frequency division multiplexing. Here it is Mux's multiplexing. See that there is 1, 2, 3 telephone lines are combined at transmitting end, and channel 1 is operate the first signal to first signal of the channel 1, and channel 2 is operate second signal, channel 3 is operate third signal. Here there are 3 signals, each signal have its own frequency, each signal have its own frequency. So that's why, so there is frequency division multiplexing. So frequency is divided into their own signal space, into their own signal space. So in the example, there are 3 signals are there: channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. Channel 1 have its own frequency, channel 2 have other frequency, channel 3 has other frequency. F1, F2, F3 are the frequencies are there. Here, the multiplexing process, how it is processed. Whereas for given figure is a conceptual illustration of the multiplexing process. Each source generates a signal of similar frequency range. That means each signal have its own frequency. Inside the multiplexer, these similar frequencies are modulate different carrier frequencies. Now the F1, F2, F3 are there. The previous example, there are these channels are there. Each channel have its own frequency. Those frequencies are F1, F2, and F3. So the resulting modulated signals are then combined into a single composite signal that is sent over a overall a media link. It has enough bandwidth. So now here it is the figure source. Here first signal is there now. First signal have it is a frequency range, frequency band. That is a modulation takes place. That is F1 is there. Second signal have its different frequency other than the first frequency, have F2, and third signal have other than the second frequency F3. And here it is F1, F2, F3 are the different frequencies. Now see that signal frequency range. Here the one of the frequency, this is another frequency, this is another frequency. So all these frequencies are added here. All these frequencies are added here. Now that output is composite signal is generated. Output is composite signal is generated. Now this composite signal is ready to transmit on a channel. Now, so opposite multiplexing is, there is a demultiplexing. The demultiplexer uses a series of filters to separate the multiplexed signals into its constitute component signals. Okay, the individual signals are then passed to a demodulator that separate them from their carrier and passes them to the output lines. So okay, here it is the demultiplexing. What to do is can separate different frequencies, whereas in the multiplexing can combine the frequencies, and the demultiplexing separate them and you have to receive in the receiver block. Okay, here it is. So this is the composite signal is received. So here the composite signal is received. When this is the filter is only allow the first signal frequency. The filter is allow only the first signal frequency. This second filter allows on the second signal frequency. This third signal allows third signal frequency. Such a way that the filters are designed. Such a way that filters are designed. Now the demultiplexing filters are plays a vital role. The first filter allows only the first signal. Second filter allows only the second signal. Third filter allows only the third signal. So the first filter doesn't allow the third signal or the second signal. Only it allows on the first signal only. So that is, here you can use a filters are there, different filters are there. Here the 3 different filters are designed to allow those own frequency range. shows one frequency range. Now it is the first filter output is given to demodulator, and second filter output is given to second demodulator. Third filter output is given to third demodulator. Now that output is taken in the receiver side as the first, second, and third. This is the demultiplexing. Now, let us see that simple example it is. So better to know that example also. So better to note that example also. See that. Assume that a Y channel occupies a bandwidth of 4 kHz. We need to combine 3 Y channels into a link with a bandwidth of 12K from 20 to 32 kHz. Show the configuration using the frequency division multiplexing without use of the guard bands. So here the guard band is the term used to separate two individual frequency signals, where it is F1 and F2 are there now. F1 frequency has its own signal, F2 signal has another frequency. Now in between them there is a guard band. Here it is, what the problem it is shows. Assume that a Y channel occupies bandwidth of 4 kHz. That means the bandwidth of Y channel is 4 kHz. We need to combine 3 Y channels into link with a bandwidth of. Okay? Y channel occupies bandwidth of 4K. You need to combine 3 Y channels into a link with a bandwidth of 12 kHz from 20 to 32 kHz. Okay, now see that solution here it is now. Shifts each of these 3 voice frequencies, voice channels into different bandwidths. So in the figure now. So whereas it is 0 to 4, 0 to 4, 0 to 4. That is each signal have its 0 to 4K. Is it not? So 0 to 4K means at 20 starting point and 32K is the ending point. So the link of bandwidth of 12K from 20 to 32. 20 to 32K. 32 minus 20, what is the value? 12K, no? 32 minus 20, 12K. So within the 12K, three Y channels are combined, having the bandwidth of 4K. So now it is, see that it is 0 to 4K, first signal, have 20 to 24. 0 to 4K of the second signal, have 24 to 28. And third signal, 0 to 4K, has 28 to 32. Now 20 to 24 one signal, 24 to 28 another signal, 28 to 32 another signal. So all these are multiplex. All these are multiplex. Now it is 20 is the starting and 24 the red line, 24 to 28 is the yellow line, yellow shade is there. 28 to 32 is the blue shade is there. Now red, yellow, blue shades are now. So this is 20 to 32 kilo is the band. Now it is 20 to 32 kilo is the band. Now it is the multiplexing. Now it is passed through a channel. So that is the link or the channel, and he receives 20 to 24, 24 to 28, 28 to 32. Now it is a filter is designed to allow only 22 to 24 kilohertz signal, and this filter is allow only 24 to 28 signal. So this filter allow only 28 to 32 signal. Now it is 24 to 20 to 24 kilohertz signal is received here. That is band of frequency is 0 to K, 0 to 4K. Here is 24 to 28, 0 to 4K, 28 to 32K. That is 0 to 4K. That is the entire each signal bandwidth is 4K, 4K, 4K. So this is a multiplexing. This is the demultiplexing. It's a multiplexing and demultiplexing. So this is our problem. So let us see that second problem here. It is 5 channels are here, each with 100 kHz bandwidth. Each with a 100 kHz bandwidth are to be multiplexed together. What is the minimum bandwidth of the link if there is a need for guard band of 10 kHz between the channels to prevent interference? Okay, here it is one of the important point. What for the guard bands? What for the guard bands? Guard bands for prevent interference. In order to prevent interference, guard bands are required. What is the guard band frequency range? 10K. So the entire signal is 100K plus 10K. And again, it is start. Now, we'll see that solution here. See that solution here. For 5 channels, we need for at least 4 guard bands are there. Is it not? Why for 5 channels, 4 guard bands? Channel 1 to channel 2, one guard band. Channel 2 to channel 3, another guard band. Channel 3 to channel 4, channel 4 guard band. How many guard bands? Here it is 4 guard bands are there. That's why for 5 channels, we need at least 4 guard bands are there. So if it is 6 channels, how many guard bands are there? 5 guard bands. That is, guard band is nothing but in between the channels. The space between the channels is nothing but the guard band. The space between the channel is nothing but the guard band. So here it is 5 channels are there now. Now we can require 4 guard bands. So what is the guard band frequency? 10K. Now for 5 channels, we need at least 4 guard bands are there now. This means the requirement of bandwidth at least 5 into 100K, because of the 5 channel. Each channel have its 100K bandwidth plus 4 into 10K. What is this 4? This 4 is the nothing but the guard band. So 5 is the channels. 100K is the bandwidth of the channel. 4 are the guard bands. For the guard band frequency is 10K. Now 5 into 100 plus 4 into 10. That is called 540 kHz. Is it not? Now see that. Here it is. Each channel bandwidth is 100K. This red is 100K. This pink is 100K. Yellow is 100K. Blue is 100K. Green is 100K. Now how many channels here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels are there. So the in between the channels, there is a guard band. Between the channels, there is a guard band. The guard band is 10 kHz. The guard band is 10 kHz. So how many guard bands here it is? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 guard bands are there. Now 100K plus 10K plus 100K plus 10K, 100K plus 10K, 100K plus 10K, 100K. So the entire bandwidth is 540 kHz. 540 kHz. Okay. So students, such simple problems may come the examination point of view regarding frequency division multiplexing. Frequency division multiplexing. So see that one more problem here it is. 4 data channels are there. 4 data channels are there. Each transmitting at 1 Mbps. Now the speed is here given for 1 Mbps. Use a satellite channel for 1 MHz. Design an appropriate configuration using FDM. See that solution here. The satellite channel is an analog signal. So we divide it into 4 channels. Each channel have 240 kHz bandwidth. Okay. Each digital channel have 1 Mbps is modulated such that each of 4 bits are modulated to 1 hertz. So one solution is 16 QAM modulation. So this example is more or less at the end of the this unit. Okay, see that in the block diagram. QAM is quadrature amplitude modulation. Later can discuss. So each signal have its 1 Mbps digital signal, 1 Mbps digital signal. Okay, now 250 kHz analog signal, 250 kHz analog signal is given to FDM signal. Now it is an frequency region multiplexing. So now can go for service divided into numbers. So see that analog carrier system. Most of the telephone companies use analog waves to transmit their signals during transmission. Most of the telephone companies use analog signals because of all of information in the form of analog only. All our information in the form of analog only. So they do it by using analog carrier system to maximize their efficiency. So now, in order to improve their efficiency, carrier also analog signal. So analog carrier system use FDM technique. Analog carrier system lo mana FDM technique use chestam. One of these hierarchical system using for telephone companies is made up of a group or super group, master group, and jumbo groups. Okay, telephone companies lo a system ni మనం group కింద, super group కింద, master group కింద, jumbo group కింద డివైడ్ చేస్తాం. సో in this analog hierarchy అంటే వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ మనం కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయడానికి మన అనలాగ్ హైరార్కీ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ఆర్ మల్టిప్లెక్స్ ఇంటూ ఏ హైయర్ బ్యాండ్ ఇంటూ ఏ క్రియేట్ ఏ గ్రూప్. అంటే 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ కలిపి ఒక గ్రూప్ కింద క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఏ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ 48 kHz bandwidth and supports 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్. అంటే 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ కి 48 kHz bandwidth ని సపోర్ట్ చేస్తాయి. At the next level, up to 5 groups can be multiplexed to create a composite signal called a supergroup. The supergroup has bandwidth of 240 kHz and supported to up to 60 voice channels. Okay. Already this voice telephone hierarchy is explained in the form of analog communication. Okay. Now each group is 12. Now let's see that hierarchy here it is. So this is the hierarchy. Now each first hierarchy is 12 voice channels are there. 12 voice channel. Each channel has 4 kHz signal. Each channel has 4 kHz signal. Such channels are 12. Now 12 into 4, 48 kHz is the 12 voice channel. That is the group. Okay, first group లో ఎన్ని ఉంటాయి? 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఈచ్ ఛానల్ యొక్క ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఎంత? 4 kHz. సో నౌ 12 into 4, 48 kHz is the output of the first group. That is use the FDM, frequency multiplexing యూజ్ చేస్తాం ఫస్ట్ గ్రూప్. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ గ్రూప్ లో 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఈచ్ వాయిస్ ఛానల్ కి 4 kHz సిగ్నల్ ఉంటుంది. దట్స్ వై 12 into 4, 48 kHz is the ఫస్ట్ గ్రూప్. సో సెకండ్ గ్రూప్ వచ్చేటప్పటికి సూపర్ గ్రూప్ అంటాం. సెకండ్ సూపర్ గ్రూప్ ఎన్ని ఉంటాయి? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 గ్రూప్స్ ఉంటాయి. 5 గ్రూప్స్ కాల్డ్ ద సూపర్ గ్రూప్. సో ఈచ్ గ్రూప్ వాయిస్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఎంత 48 kHz. ఈచ్ గ్రూప్ వాయిస్ సిగ్నల్ వాయిస్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఎంత 48 kHz. అలాంటి ఎన్ని గ్రూప్స్ ఉన్నాయి? 5 గ్రూప్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఆ 5 గ్రూప్స్ కలిపితే మనం సూపర్ గ్రూప్ అంటాం. ఓకే, నౌ 48 into 5, 48 into 5, what is that? 240 kHz. సో 12 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ఉంటాయి. 12 into 5 ఎంత? 60 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ అనమాట. సూపర్ గ్రూప్ అవుట్పుట్ ఎంత? 60 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్. సో output ఎంత? 5 as a super group. Now super group frequency ఎంత? 240 kHz. సో అలాంటి సూపర్ గ్రూప్స్ 10 ని మాస్టర్ గ్రూప్ అంటాం. అంటే 10 సూపర్ గ్రూప్స్ కలిపితే మాస్టర్ గ్రూప్ అంటాం. సో మాస్టర్ గ్రూప్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఎంత? 240 into 10, 240 into 10, around 2.4 megahertz. 2.4 megahertz. ఎన్ని ఛానల్స్ ఉంటాయి? 60 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ కదా. 60 into 10, 600 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో వాట్ ఇస్ దట్? మాస్టర్ గ్రూప్. ఒక మాస్టర్ గ్రూప్ లో 600 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ఉంటాయి. వాట్ ఇస్ ద ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ? 2.4. ఇక్కడ తప్పు రాంగ్ వేసే చూడండి. అంటే 240 into 10 కదా, అంటే 2.4 మెగాహెర్ట్జ్ అయి ఉండాలి. బట్ 2.52 మెగాహెర్ట్జ్ అయింది. ఎందుకంటే వాట్ ఇస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ హియర్? ఓకే, సో ద difference is known as a గాడ్ బ్యాండ్. ఆ డిఫరెన్స్ ఎంతైతే ఉందో దాన్ని గాడ్ బ్యాండ్ కింద కన్సిడర్ చేస్తాం. అంటే 60 వాయిస్ ఛానల్స్ ని ఒక సూపర్ గ్రూప్ అంటాం. సూపర్ గ్రూప్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ 240. సో సచ్ సూపర్ గ్రూప్స్ ఆర్ యాడెడ్ 6. అంటే మాస్టర్ గ్రూప్ లో 2.54 megahertz speed, that is 600 voice channels are there in the master group. So such master groups are 6, is nothing but jumbo group. Nothing but 2.52 into 6, that is 16.984. Okay, so this is the hierarchy, the voice telephone signal hierarchy it is. Okay, so see that one example here. The advanced mobile phone system using 2 bands. The first band is 224 to 449 megahertz, used for sending, and 869 to 894 megahertz is used for receiving. Each user has a bandwidth of 20 kHz in each direction, that is forward direction and reverse direction. Okay, the 2 kHz voice is modulated using FM. Oh, sorry, the 3 kHz voice is modulated using FM. So creating 30 kHz of modulated signal, how many people can use their cellular phone simultaneously? Once again, see that problem. The advanced mobile phone system uses 2 bands. The first band is 424 to 849 megahertz, used for sending, and 869 to 894 megahertz is used for receiving. Each user has a bandwidth of 30 kHz in each direction. So the 3 kHz voice is modulated using FM, creating 30 kHz of modulated signal. How many people can use their cellular phone simultaneously? See that solution here. Here it is. Each band is 25 megahertz. So what is the 25 megahertz? 849 and 24. What is the value? 24 megahertz. If you divide the 24 megahertz into 30 kilohertz, okay, 24 megahertz by 30k, you got 833.33. In reality, the band is divided into 832 channels. So the entire band is divided into 832 channels. Okay. Now, so that is the solution only. Okay. Now, the application of FDM, frequency range multiplexing ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేస్తాం? One of the application is AM radios. The AM radios band from 830 kilohertz to 1700 kilohertz. So each station bandwidth is 10k. That is one of the application is AM radios, and another application is FM radios. The FM radios 88 to 108 megahertz is the frequency band. That the frequency band is nothing but IFM, intermittent frequency we call it as. Okay, each station has the bandwidth of 200 kilohertz. Okay, an example, 92.7 megahertz to turn from 92.6 to 92.8 megahertz. FM has the bandwidth 10 times more than the modulated signal, is not. And third one is first generation mobile phones also use FDM. And for the voice signal bandwidth is 3 kilohertz from is 300 to 330 Hz. So in general it is 4K. Voice channel bandwidth 4K and number. Okay. So students, these are the applications. Now go for the advantage of FDM. A large number of signals can be transmitted simultaneously. One of the advantages. FDM does not need synchronization between its transmitter and receiver for proper operation. So synchronization not need to arrange for the FDM because of frequency division itself. No, so each signal have its own frequency range. That's why synchronized problem may not be arise. And third one is demodulation of FDM is easy. In order to demodulate by using the filter, simply a filter is designed to allow that frequency only. If it is first frequency, allow the first filter, second frequency allow second filter, third frequency allow third filter. Like a design a filter, and those filters are usually the receiver side. To slow narrow band fading, only a single channel gets affected. Okay, so fading is very low in FDM system rather than TDM system. Okay, so these are the applications. Another application is, so large number of signals can be transmitted simultaneously, more number of signals, and FDM does not need any synchronization, and demodulation of FDM is easy. Okay, and fading is very low. Fading is very low. Okay, these are the 5 are the advantages of FDM. Okay, and some more advantages are there. Yes. These are the disadvantages. The communication channels must have a very large bandwidth. This is one of the disadvantages. So by using the FDM, each channel have its own frequency. Now, if you want to transmit 10 channels, so now the you can add all these 10 frequencies along with guard band also. That's why the bandwidth is very large. So, and intermodulation distortion takes place, or intersymbol interference also arises. That is one of the disadvantages. So third one is large number of modulators are and filters are required. So modulators and filters are large when the signals are large. No? Each signal have its own frequency range. So FDM suffers from the problem of crosstalk. So there is a crosstalk problem arises in the FDM. All FDM channels are affected due to wideband fading. So single band fading is minimal, but wideband fading is in the FDM. Okay. So these are the advantages and applications of FDM. Okay. Students, in the next class, go for one more topic, that is amplitude modulation, definition and mathematical equations. Okay. So today you can complete the frequency division multiplexing concept. So frequency division multiplexing used in the AM, FM and PM also. In general, in the analog modulation schemes, FDM is used. Okay. So what is the FDM and what are the applications? What are the advantages? All are seen in this. The next class go for amplitude modulation definition. Okay. Okay. Please note the problems and better to solve. So thank you one and all.